Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clark on YouTube. Oh no. Wow, you guys are absolutely incredible. The support you've given my Liv and Maddie videos are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for always finding time in your day to hit the subscribe and the like buttons on my YouTube channel, and I hope you continue to do that because I promise a lot of Liv and Maddie content over the next couple of months as we cover Liv and Maddie, Descendants, everything Disney, everything Nickelodeon. I'll make sure there's always content for somebody who may be looking for specific content on this YouTube channel, because I know there are these loyal YouTubers out there every single day who are always searching up Descendants, Liv and Maddie, Disney, Nickelodeon, SpongeBob SquarePants, Sonic the Hedgehog, Marvel characters, and there's a lot going on for Marvel this summer too. Fantastic Four, First Steps. So much stuff going on. Daredevil Born Again also on Disney Plus. So we've got a lot to talk about, but the support that I see for Descendants is absolutely incredible. Just the other day, the first part of my Liv and Maddie video series came out. Everybody was hitting the like button. Everybody was watching it. Thank you so much for that. We've got die-hard Dove Cameron fans out there, and I really appreciate how loyal you guys are to some of your favorites, especially the Descendants stars like Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, whose friendship have been profiled so many times for both on and off camera. They are not only friends on camera for Disney Channel and Disney Plus, but they are also friends in real life, and I found time in appreciating that. And I will tell you, we've got so many Liv and Maddie fans out there that I am just as big of a fan of Liv and Maddie as each and every one of you. So much so that one particular summer back in 2017, when this show was at the heights of its popularity, I knew a special episode of Liv and Maddie, a new episode was airing on a Friday night. And I was coming home from my friend's house. I was walking home from my friend's house, and I fell down and broke my arm on the way home, trying to get home for an episode of Liv and Maddie so I didn't miss it. I got home with a broken arm, went to the hospital, had it all fixed up, and I actually had to go home and watch the episode on demand on Disney Channel. But I did get an opportunity to see it, and I eventually saw it again on Disney Plus when it was released as part of the Liv and Maddie episodes. But that's how dedicated I think we are to these shows and these stars, is that we will do anything and we will go above and beyond the expectations of our peers to see this one. And I think this show, because of its positive message, because of how inspirational the characters were in the show, I think that's why it got over so highly and so significantly on Disney Channel. I know the work ethic was really put in. Some of the episodes would take anywhere from 3 to 5 days to shoot. But I think the chemistry with the cast is something that definitely needs to be highlighted with this one, because the chemistry on the camera for this show was absolutely incredible. It was a beautiful, beautiful show with so many positive messages that I think a lot of people could find time in appreciating like I did. For me, I became a fan of Dove Cameron when I first saw the first few episodes of Liv and Maddie, and that was back in 2013. And I remember seeing it, and I thought this was really going to be the replacement for Hannah Montana, because I think there was a void in Disney Channel fans and the hearts of fans of Hannah Montana when that series finished in 2011. It took Disney a while to come up with a great show to take its place, but I think that Liv and Maddie definitely is one of those shows that is a candidate to take the position of Hannah Montana away from the top position on Disney Channel. It will not go down in history for being the greatest Disney Channel show of all time, but it will go down as one of the best. Definitely one of the top 5, if not the number 1 or number 2 show on a top 5 list of your favorite Disney Channel shows. And there are many Disney Channel shows that have come and gone. Wizards of Waverly Place, That's So Raven, Gravity Falls, Phineas and Ferb. There have been so many great shows over the years, even the animated shows like the animated TV series Hercules, the animated TV series Aladdin, the animated TV series Little Mermaid. There have been so many great shows, either animated or live action. And these sitcoms that Disney have been creating for the better part of the last 10 years have been great. Now, I'm not really feeling the new shows on Disney Channel like The Villains of Valley View or The Secrets of Silver Springs. The storyboards are not there. But you had incredible storyboards for shows like Liv and Maddie, and I've often highlighted how I really appreciate how certain characters would come in and do something stupid and make their exit. What I mean by coming in and doing something stupid and making their exit, take for instance Jason Earls on Hannah Montana years ago. He would come in and blow something up, he would spill milk everywhere, he would make some catastrophic recipe, and then make his exit. He would always just be there to annoy, like characters on Liv and Maddie sometimes would do, like Ryan McCartan's character Diggy. He would come in, he would do something stupid, he would make his exit, but ultimately at the end of the day he would make milk come out from all of our noses, and he would make us laugh and smile. So these insignificant characters that come in and do something stupid and make their exit is something that I'm very fond of, and I hope they keep that trend going. It hasn't been really highlighted much on Disney over the past number of years, but these insignificant characters really make a show light up and really showcase a show for what it really is meant to be, and that's its fullest potential. And let's not forget about the music. You, Me, and the Beat. As Long as I Have You, True Love, Better in Stereo. Those scores were absolutely incredible. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched the music video for a song like Better in Stereo, which was the theme song of Liv and Maddie. They had a TV version of it and a studio recorded version from Walt Disney Records, but the music video on YouTube, which is still up there, I think I threw it up on my social media pages, but it was a really cool music video that highlighted the importance of kindness and spreading a message of kindness, which I really appreciate, which is why I found a lot of time in appreciating Liv and Maddie and will for what I feel like forever. I think that Liv and Maddie is a TV series that is forever going to hold a special place in my heart for its very authentic message, the characters that were represented by people like Dove Cameron, and how these characters were brought to life in such an authentic way that will never ever be forgotten, because we do have these die-hard fans of Liv and Maddie that do exist out there. They do exist, and they do have to be appreciated. So why don't we take a look at part 2 of our video now and take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes secrets of Liv and Maddie, which I think you're really going to enjoy. It has been such an honor for me to come into the homes of so many families and share this content with each and every one of you and watch it back together, because I remember watching it years ago. It's been a decade, over a decade, since Liv and Maddie premiered on Disney Channel and became one of the highest rated Disney Channel shows of all time. It had specific reasons why. The positive messages, the music that lit up the screens, and now people still watch it on Disney+. Despite my broken arm, I made it home to watch Liv and Maddie, believe it or not. It took a few days later before I had the opportunity to watch the new episode. I was really banged up, but the show didn't fail to put a smile on my face, just as every single one of the 75 plus episodes that aired for this one did every single time. So what I want you guys to do is find time in hitting the subscribe and the like buttons, and let me know how you feel about this in the comments as we watch this together for the first time for me in what feels like forever. Liv and Maddie was always one of my favorite TV series.
No TV show is perfect, but Liv and Maddie comes pretty close. Despite all the great moments, there are a few mistakes you might notice on your first or 10th watch through. Just be warned that after you notice these bloopers, you will not be able to unsee them.
Why would you purposefully turn into oncoming traffic when you can go up 1 block and make 3 rights?
The pilot episode set the scene for the entire series, as we saw Liv arrive home after spending time in Hollywood. But it seems like the team messed up one important detail: which twin is older?
You stole my face! I had it first!
This scene clearly implies Maddie was born first. Yet later on in Sweet 16 or Rooney, it's established that Liv is the older twin, and her birthday is technically a day ahead of her sister's. Don't feel bad though, I am a day older. According to this episode, Liv was born at 11:56 p.m. on the 5th, while Maddie was born at 12:02 on the 6th, which contradicts Maddie's statement that she had their face first.
Wait, so Maddie's never celebrated on her actual birthday?
There's no denying that Liv is the hostess with the mostest in New Year's Eve Rooney when she performs at her rocking New Year's Eve party, but things get a little bit out of control when she shows off her latest product endorsement. The Dry by Liv is the most powerful hair dryer in the world. This poor clown learns the power of the Dry by Liv all too well, as it sends him hurtling backwards and tosses his wig off his head. But wait, the clown was clearly wearing a red wig in previous shots of the party, yet when he puts his wig back on, it's multicolored. Is that a color-changing hairdryer?
Would you like a new one?
Sleeper Rooney introduced us to Parker's friend Evan, who's possibly the best house guest out there, but he gets to let loose a little bit and take part in a dart fight with Parker and his fellow sleepover attendees. When the boys are done, there are darts everywhere, including stuck to his green blanket flung over the back of a chair and scattered on the floor. When Liv interrupts the fun to show off her dinosaur impression, Evan thinks that she's choking and stands up to help. Evan, honey, I'm not choking. But when he sits back down, the darts on the blanket and some of the ones on the floor have mysteriously vanished.
Dude, even my mom would think this was lame.
Those darts are far from the only appearing or disappearing objects found in the Rooney household. In one scene, Splat tries to put his feet up on a coffee table and accidentally knocks over a bowl of popcorn, sending the kernels flying all over the place. You can clearly see that the bowl is empty, yet just a moment later, it's almost full again despite the popcorn still scattered all over the table.
You two bobbleheads have to clean our room today.
If every time you see an ad, you just wanna, you need to download Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads on all your.
Liv couldn't resist showing off her Tristan Lycanth costume in Slumperoonie, which was all fun and games until she couldn't remove her prosthetic teeth or ears. When Johnny Nimbus refused to heed her request to reschedule the segment Nibblin' with Nimbus, she decided to cleverly camouflage her predicament with some strategic accessorizing. Smart. Johnny Nimbus might be a better cook than we thought, because check out the red pan on the stove. Well, I got a griddle full of brats and a side order of get to know ya. In an instant, it's filled with eggs despite the fact that it was empty moments earlier. Who's going to tell him that you're not supposed to put eggs on a frying pan without removing their shells first?
And the armor says permanent.
In Shoo-a-Rooney, Parker convinces Evan to act like a less than perfect house guest rather than have him set high expectations for Karen when it comes to their behavior. When she relegates them to playing with a box of crayons, with the sharpener removed of course, keep a close eye on the box. No, not because it includes burnt sienna, but rather because it can't stay in one place. We see it in an upright position, and then all of a sudden it's lying on its side despite the fact that neither boy touched it.
So, if I don't ever do anything, I don't ever get to do anything?
Here we have another error associated with Liv's role as Tristan Lycanth. She and Maddie switch places so Liv can take her sister's driving test, and we'll talk about how that went a little bit later. As for Maddie, she managed to win over some reluctant fans when posing as Liv, but is that as impressive as this employee's ability to teleport? You can see a woman with brown hair and glasses standing by the door in a yellow shirt. Then all of a sudden she's directly behind Parker, and if you blink, she vanishes from that spot too.
All hail the sea, Tristan!
In the pilot episode of Liv and Maddie, the two twins have a huge fight after Liv asks Diggy out while pretending to be Maddie. Of course, they end up reconciling, but during this emotional scene, we couldn't help but notice Liv's bracelet. It keeps disappearing and then reappearing off her right wrist while she talks to Maddie. Liv decided to stay at home with her family, but apparently some of her jewelry had other ideas.
You couldn't drag me away.
How many of us have dreamed of having a twin we could switch places with? Well, Liv and Maddie fans know that those kinds of hijinks can go terribly wrong. Let's go back to Liv taking Maddie's driver's test. Because it turns out, the instructor wearing a helmet wasn't the worst idea. Liv crashes the car into a garbage can, which leaves debris lingering on the hood of the car. The wrappers are still there after she strikes the mailbox and the car comes to a stop. Yet, after the airbags deflate, the hood is totally clean.
Only one of us passed. Total bummerang.
In the first episode of Liv and Maddie, the family airs their grievances and we can see Pete holding a stopwatch. But don't stop watching it, because after Liv blows the air horn for a second time, Pete drops the hand holding it down, yet an instant later, it's raised back up. Then, Parker complains about not being able to use the bathroom with the door open despite the fact that his family has changed his diapers before. All of a sudden, the stopwatch vanishes out of Pete's hand entirely. Then, when Liv says she might as well go back, you can see Pete grasp the air horn with his left hand that was holding the stopwatch before quickly correcting himself and putting it on his other hand.
Well, guess what? My life doesn't need fixing.
Seriously, how could Parker bringing home tarantulas not go horribly wrong? He claims to have 6 of the creepy crawlies and promptly loses all but one of them. He and Joey try to hunt them down and immediately find one crawling on the table. Alright, caught one. They later find one crawling on an unfortunate slumber party guest and manage to grab that one too, though a little bit too late. Now the boys have a total of 3 tarantulas, meaning there should be 3 remaining when we see 5 of them clinging to Karen's sweater. These spiders aren't exactly native to Wisconsin, so where did the 2 other ones come from?
I know this is completely in my head, but I feel like I can feel them crawling all over me.
On Pete's birthday, he wants -5 presents, which means he wants to get rid of 5 things around the house, which his wife Karen is not crazy about. One of his picks is an artichoke candle holder, which Karen bought for Parker after he agreed to try artichokes for the first time. Karen said it was like she could still feel it there after they placed it in the box to get rid of, and it's possible this was a bit of foreshadowing since this wasn't really the end of it. We saw it in its place on the end table in the episodes Grandma Aruni and Video Aruni. Did you see it in any others? Let us know down below.
No, $20? What's going on?
Who could forget the time-honored tradition of Cowbell Week? This special time of year involves kids putting cowbells on each other while trying to avoid receiving one themselves. There are actually 2 mistakes in this episode, and the first happens when Willow targets Mackenzie with a cowbell. She calls out Mackenzie's dress despite the fact that her classmate is clearly wearing a skirt and top. Was this a last-minute wardrobe change or a simple script mistake?
Mackenzie, I love your dress!
At the end of Cowbell Week, Maddie is the victor, and she isn't exactly humble about her victory. When she's taunting her classmates about their losses, she says,
I'm gonna bell you in your sleep!
but Maddie didn't bell this girl in her sleep because we saw her do it while she was wide awake at school in the beginning of the episode. Maybe all of Maddie's victories started to blur together after a while.
Well, that sounds like loser talk.
Both Liv and Maddie are portrayed by the talented Dove Cameron, who switches up her style to make each character stand out. In the first 2 seasons, Liv has a side part in her hair, which helps distinguish her from Maddie. Yet in the 3rd season, she also started wearing her hair parted down the middle, which isn't a mistake on its own, but it was when it happened in Continued Rooney. This episode was meant to take place immediately after Champaroonie, in which Liv's hair was parted on the side. Her abrupt middle part was a continuity error that some fans couldn't help but notice.
This is a life-changing offer for me.
Since Dove Cameron plays 2 characters, sometimes special camera work is required, and sometimes it goes wrong. In this scene, Liv and Maddie are standing next to each other when suddenly the side of Liv's green purse is cut off in an unnatural way. This must have happened when Maddie was added into the scene later on.
I love wearing boots. The rest of that sounds really awful.
The kids tease Karen for being less than tech-savvy when she treats herself to the latest smartphone.
Yep, just holding it makes me feel smart. Woo!
She uses an app called FaceGab to call Liv, but when Parker notices that she has the hip-hop gnome snow cone maker, Liv abruptly ends the call by pressing the speaker button instead of the obvious disconnect button on the screen.
How could they not tell us we're moving?
When Maddie plays pin the tail on the donkey, she wears a scarf tied around her face. Then, all of a sudden, her makeshift blindfold is off her head and into her hands, despite the fact that we didn't see her remove it. How'd she take it off and straighten her hair up so quickly?
How are you doing on the whole breakup thing? Still hurting, but...
Liv and Maddie are twins, but they have differences between them. Maddie needs her glasses to see, and she doesn't share her sister's talent for singing, at least not in the episode Switcheroony. Yet in the same season, Maddie sings along when Liv performs Count Me In. Maybe Maddie was just mouthing along to the backup vocals of the track.
Thank you all so much for coming to the Season 4 DVD signing of Sing It Loud!
When Maddie and Josh break up, Joey doesn't appreciate having to compete with her for his friend's attention. When Maddie joins them for lunch, she expresses surprise that she has such a nice time playing with churros and spending time with her ex. Who says you can't be friends with your ex? Well, clearly, Maddie doesn't say that, because at this point, she and Diggy have broken up and stayed in contact afterwards. So why was Maddie so surprised that she could be around Josh after they ended things?
Dude, seriously?
Did we miss any Liv and Maddie mistakes that you managed to spot? If so, share them with us and your fellow fans in the comments section below. And hey, make sure to hit subscribe to get new videos from us here at The Things. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun. You know, sometimes you forget about how many bloopers are actually seen when recording a show and how many takes are actually having to be done before you actually get it the way that the directors want. That's where a greater appreciation, I think, comes in for all the work that goes into filming an episode of this show, which is why, on average, it took anywhere from 3 to 5 days to shoot. This will forever and always be one of my favorite Disney Channel shows of all time, if not the #1, definitely in the top 5 for this cat right here. Give me a second to switch back over and we will close this thing out. Whew. Yeah, I can't remember a time where there wasn't anything I wouldn't do as a fan of one of these Disney Channel shows. I was very loyal to Disney Channel, and I was one of its biggest fans. I can remember being up 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. in the morning between those hours of late night, watching those shows because I didn't have a chance to watch them during the day, so I would catch the repeats of them. And I would almost instantly fall in love with the creativity from the storyboard that these shows would present, from the circumstances these stars would be faced with, how they would have to get out of them. It was so much fun and oftentimes very unpredictable. And I went above and beyond as a fan of these shows to really experience it in a way that I wanted to, because all of my life I've been a huge fan of Disney. Ever since I was first introduced to Disney, I've gone from the cartoon era and Disney Toon all the way to the live action shows, and now what we see, the crossover opportunities being presented from Disney, Fox, Marvel, National Geographic, Star Wars. It's so much fun being a fan of all of this, and yeah, I don't regret a single moment of ever being a fan of Disney Channel, more especially Liv and Maddie. I remember the series finale. After 4 incredible seasons, over 75 plus episodes of this were seen and shot. I didn't know where Dove Cameron was going, but I saw her the other night on Jimmy Fallon. And the performance of the song Too Much, which is her latest single, was an incredible performance. I'm happy to see her back because I've wondered where she's been for a very long time, and she's been gone for over a year. So seeing her on the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon the other night was an incredible experience for me. There are videos of this all up over social media, and you should check it out because it's a real exemplification of just how far this girl has come in such a short amount of time. I know it's been pretty close to almost 10 years since Liv and Maddie saw its series finale, but it's just so fun going back, seeing all this retro footage, and then having the opportunity to see her perform the single Too Much on Jimmy Fallon just the other night. It was an incredible opportunity for me and many others who are diehard fans of this kind of thing. So guys, we're going to have videos up here every Tuesday and Thursday on this YouTube channel, so make sure you keep checking back for that. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends about the awesome content you find on this YouTube channel bi-weekly. Bye YouTube. We will do it again.